A couple weeks ago, I posted an inspection challenge video where I got Yiheng and Xuanyi to plan as far ahead as possible in inspection. As the title of this video suggests, yes, Xuanyi planned 4 pairs within the 15 seconds, or actually 12 seconds of inspection, on average. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly suggest that you pause this video now and go check it out. This video is currently on my YouTube channel, and there's a link in the description. I also actually uploaded it to my Chinese Bilibili account, which is similar to YouTube in China. And if you're wondering if they're as amazed in China as they were on YouTube, well, it has even more views than on YouTube, and basically the same reactions. Even look at these comments. You see on YouTube here there's a comment, when you see 2 Chinese cubers, you know that the younger one always wins. And then on Bilibili you have, of course, the only ones that can beat little kids are even the smaller kids. I think that's something that we can all agree upon. So here's a little bit of a background on that video. So this all started when I heard that Yiheng was really good at predicting pairs in inspection, and could even sometimes plan full F2L and even OLL in inspection. I'm sure that you've heard about that too. Now, to be honest, I was pretty skeptical, and I wanted to put him to the test. And so, at that competition 2 weeks ago, I rounded him up, as well as Xuanyi, who was also hanging out there. Now, Xuanyi is already known for the feat of being sub-6 at 6 years old with full ZBLL. At that time, 2 weeks ago, his average was still mid-5 or so, but at this point he now has a 5.14 average, with his currently 7th in the world at the time of taping this video. So, you know, I thought he might be pretty decent at this as well, who knows. But what happened next, as you've certainly seen if you watched the video, totally blew my expectations. Now, the first solve wasn't too surprising. Yiheng did 2 pairs, and Xuanyi did 3. That was already a little bit more than I expected from Xuanyi, because I had only heard things about Yiheng, but that was just the beginning. He then proceeded with the next solve to solve 4 pairs in inspection, and then 4 pairs again, and then 4 pairs plus EO when inspecting in only 8 seconds. And then with the last one, 4 pairs and EO again. Wow. Yiheng also did a pretty impressive 2 to 3 pair average, but what Xuanyi did with an average of over 4 pairs was absolutely crazy. That was definitely one of the most impressive feats of Cuban that I have ever witnessed, and from somebody that I had not expected at all. Crazy. So if you clicked on this video, then I'm sure that you have the same burning question as I did. How is this possible? How does he do it? And how did he reach this level? So to understand more, I spoke extensively with his mom at the competition and after the competition to try and understand this and to dig deeper and to figure out the mystery of the amazing Xuanyi. So how he does it might sound deceivingly simple. It's really just the standard practice of looking at the pieces, visualizing how they move after each turn, and planning accordingly. Now, it's a little bit more nuanced than that. You might have seen him posting a training video where his solving looks a little bit different, doing the same thing, but he only solves 2 to 3 pairs at a time, similarly to Yiheng. In competition, it's also a similar story right now, rarely planning more than 3 pairs. And when he does plan more than 3 pairs, it looks something like this. So this 4.22 single is currently his best in competition, and it's one of the rare examples in which he did plan all 4 pairs in inspection in competition. So what's up with that? How did he manage to do 4 pairs in my challenge video if in competition and in this normal practice he only does 2 or 3? Well, as you know, the more complex the solution, the harder it is to track pieces and to plan. Simply put, Xuanyi can plan far ahead, like for the challenge that I did, but to do so, he modifies his solutions to make them much simpler to trace. This trade-off, though, is not worth it in competition, where he will usually go for better solutions, in which he can't trace as far. Yet. Now, to be honest, this is quite a standard approach, and it's really what most cubers do. He's just really good at it. So I think it might be more useful to look at how he got to this level in the first place, and how you might be able to as well. So I've boiled it down to what I think are 4 key factors for his success so far. So the first one is to build a strong foundation. Now, as you might have heard, cubing schools are really big in China, and they attract very many kids from a very young age, as low as 3 years old. They have experienced teachers which teach in a tried and tested, structured and efficient way to solve cubes fast. Their students learn the right way from the very beginning and develop a strong foundation with everything that they need to achieve elite levels. Once a teacher's level is far surpassed by their students, their teachers keep supporting them as a coach to guide their practice and to cheer them on. Xuanyi followed this path, learning strong fundamentals very early on. Considering his age, at 6 years old, there is without a doubt absolutely no way that he could have reached anywhere near such a high level without having a professional teacher in the early stages. Now it's time for a quick ad break. Yep, an ad. After experiencing the phenomenon of cubing schools in China where I currently live, I have been inspired to try and bring something like this to the rest of the world. And so, recently, I've co-founded Cubing Life Academy. We currently hold courses in person in Montreal, Canada, as well as online courses of all levels. Really, whether you know a little fella who wants to be the next Shen, or you want to improve without having to go through a million different rabbit holes on YouTube without any results, or you just need a few pointers to bring your solves to the next level, then we are the place for you. We'll also soon be starting regular live streams with sample courses, seminars, and more given by our teachers, which include Tommy Cherry and Benjamin Kyle. So make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out. I'll be putting links to that, as well as our website and other relevant information in the description. Now, let's get back to the main content. Now, the second factor has to do with attitude. After systematically learning the fundamentals of high-level cubing, Xuanyi was sure of and wanted to prove that 2-look solves were not only possible, but that this was the best method, and he wanted to achieve it. Yes, you heard that right. It wasn't just some crazy Asian parents that wanted to push their kids to the absolute limit based off of the evil ideas of a coach. It was actually Xuanyi himself who wanted to achieve this. Very much actually to the opposition of his coach and his parents. They thought that this wasn't possible and that there was no point in trying to achieve it. But facing Xuanyi's determination, his family decided to support him and together developed a solid training regimen to try and help him to follow his ideals and unleash his potential. Now, this is the next thing that you're probably all waiting for. How in the world does he practice to get to this level? In reality, it's smart, but it's nothing revolutionary. A bit over a year ago, in March last year, Xuanyi could barely plan the first pair under any circumstance, and almost never within 15 seconds of inspection. That is when he started focusing on inspection and planning. Every single day, he would do 60 solves, with inspection looking as far as possible. At the beginning, he would spend 2 to 3 hours per day just doing those 60 inspection training solves. It was hard, but slowly he improved and could see further and further. At this point, he had never competed and wouldn't compete for another 6 months. So competition performance didn't matter as much, and he could just spend as much time as needed. But after a few months, when competition started nearing, they adapted the training regimen to similar to what it is now. One training mode would be where he still tries to see as far as possible, very similar to what there was before. Currently, this is more often than not being able to see the entirety of F2L, including edge orientation, similar to what you saw in the video that I posted. This is a long-term oriented training to push him further and to help him improve. But doing this at his current level usually requires using both more time in inspection and also solving using simpler and less efficient solutions like I mentioned before. So as a result, they also have a training mode in which they model a competition environment, trying to simply plan 2 to 3 pairs as quickly as possible, and by using more advanced solutions. This is more of a short-term oriented training to get good results in competitions now. That's the type of training that I mentioned earlier in the video where he does only 2 to 3 pairs in inspection. So what I think is very important with his training regimen is that it's very strategic, and he makes sure to push himself to go further and to practice very consistently. Something that you do every day, even if you don't improve very much every day, you end up getting strong improvement in the long term. Now, I do think that there is also one last important thing that I definitely think has a big impact, but that you probably won't be able to replicate that easily. Well, I don't really feel like I have to explain this, but it would be silly not to mention it. He has been learning and practicing these things at an age where his brain is in full development and he can absorb things like crazy. I mean, that combined with everything that I mentioned, his strong fundamentals, his steadfast attitude, intense practice routine, it's really no wonder he is where he is now. But Xuanyi is not done. Yes, of course, he's going to get older, he's going to have larger hands, better motor skills, and I'm sure he'll have pretty sick turn-in. But that's not even what I mean. He is actively practicing for something even bigger. Yes, something more impressive and earth-shattering than doing 2-look speed solves by planning full cross and yo in inspection. But that's the topic for another video. Share in the comments what you think it is, and maybe I'll make another video about what he's training for and how he and his family are trying to pull it off. Yeah, and with all of this, I didn't even emphasize that he knows full ZB at just 6 years old. Yes, that is full ZB, not ZBLL, including ZBLS. Everything. I can also share more about that if you're interested. But for now, see you next time.